Hey everybody, Greg Rice here in the Bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And insurance prices are going up for our multifamilies, specifically here in Rhode Island. Okay, so recently I was quoting a 5-unit that I have in East Providence. New roof, renovated 3 out of the 5 units, yards in great condition, property's overall in good repair. And I get the quote back, and it was like close to $4,000, I think. And I was like, and I insure typically for the loan amount. I'm not doing full replacement costs just because, chances of a fire happening are slim to none. And if it does happen, then I don't want to take that money and rebuild the house. I'm not in the interest of rebuilding multifamilies. I would rather take the money to pay off the bank, sell the buildable lot to a developer that specializes, and move on. So I get the quote, and it's from my good buddy at John LaPointe, LaPointe Insurance there. Yeah, it was $37.74 for the year. So I said, John, this seems a little bit high. And he goes, yes, Greg, as a matter of fact it is. And I'm reading verbatim. He said, Greg, there's been a 26% increase in the cost of building materials, and 88% of construction firms have reported regular delays on jobs. 89% of firms reported difficulty hiring qualified workers, and 94% of companies reporting supply chain disruptions. The increasing costs that construction firms are experiencing are directly impacting the cost insurance companies take on when they have a property loss to settle. Makes sense. Insurers are turning around and making premium changes to maintain profitable business. Makes sense. Logistics and labor, L&L, are a problem. Materials too, LLM. But more importantly, getting the people to do the work. So if fire happens like we're talking about, the insurance company has a replacement cost policy with somebody that has to get rebuilt. Finding vendors that'll do that work is causing backlogs and also resulting in them paying higher prices because there's fewer vendors. So they're getting squeezed and probably losing money on a lot of these claims, and they're looking back at the pool of people like me who barely submit a claim and say, oh yeah, it's going to be $4,000 for your policy, when it should be $2,000. But I'm just paying up for the guy who had the replacement and they couldn't find the vendor and the materials took too long to get there. You see how it works? So that's the problem. We need to get our logistical things, you could say, back in order and running smoothly, and I feel that we are. I feel that COVID obviously was a major disruptor there. So I feel that prices will cool off the same way that rents have cooled off, home sales have cooled off, but there was a massive run at the till for so many things, and just created, I think, labor shortages were the biggest byproduct of COVID. People didn't have to work. They got checks in the mail. They got stipends from the government, whatever, and they're not going to the lumber yard to make $16 an hour cutting 2x4s, which the insurance company needs to buy to rebuild this house. And the guy that's the construction worker is not going to put those 2x4s up because he's all set. He just got a check from the EIDL or the PPP, and he's good, he feels, for a year. So many people that have done that. So that's, in a nutshell, my opinion of the insurance market. So just adjust accordingly. And also a second caveat is, since the home prices have increased, the policy coverages are increasing. So an increase in the value of your home is an increase in the value of your policy, which in turn raises your premium. So keep this in mind, account for it on your spreadsheet. Generally speaking now, I would say $600 per year per unit is a safe guide if you're trying to determine what your insurance will cost. If you're looking at a 4-family, $2,400 a year for the policy. Something like that. It's not foolproof, but based on the numbers I'm seeing as of late, that's it. It used to be probably a third to half less prior to COVID. Hopefully those prices come back. So once again, Greg Rice here in the Bucket, your property and your insurance managed.